Hi Curious and welcome back. At the start of the year, Justin Timberlake did some apologizing to Britney Spears for how things went after their split and to Janet Jackson for the infamous Super Bowl halftime show accident, which had often been referred to as Nipplegate. And while Timberlake did just that, it had led many to wonder what has the Miss You Much singer been up to in the last couple of years. The last time the media was busy talking about Jackson was when she had announced she had split from her Qatari businessman husband Wissam Al Mana. Have the pair finalized their divorce? What did her brothers reveal about the nature of her and Al Mana's relationship? What was the reason for the singer to tone down her sexy onstage appearance? Did she convert to Islam for her then husband? And was that the reason why her career has been on hold? Stay with us until the very end to find out whether Wissam's religion had any serious influence on Janet Jackson. But before we continue, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, turn on the notifications and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our future videos. As some of you die-hard Janet Jackson fans might be aware, in the past she was unlucky in love. At the age of 18, she eloped with the singer James DeBarge, only for their marriage to be annulled a year later in 1985. She then married Renee Elizondo Jr. and she managed to keep their 9-year-long marriage a secret until their split in 1999. Later she was in a relationship with producer Jermaine Dupri, but that too came to an end in 2009. The split, as well as the passing of her brother Michael Jackson, was hard on Janet, but it seems the following year things took a turn for the better when she met Wissam Al Mana, who according to close friends of the singer, had swept her off her feet, and for a while their marriage looked like the perfect fairy tale. When they had first met at Dubai's Armani Hotel opening in 2010, they couldn't be more different. According to a source close to the Jackson family, he was a reserved man who was devoted to Islam, and Janet was at times known as quite the provocative artist who had spent years living down the 2004 Super Bowl wardrobe malfunction. But the source went on to add that as their eyes locked, it was a love at first sight situation and that neither of them cared about each other's past. From then on, their relationship only flourished. Jackson would buy him jackets with his initials inscribed on them, and he, in turn, would order her treats from Switzerland and other places as a way of saying good morning. They would go on holidays on a multi-million-dollar yachts, go to Russia for dinner or Italy for a shopping spree, and Al Mana would dazzle his new love with his knowledge of architecture and interior design. And it wasn't long before the two would start talking about marriage. At first, they talked of their plans, which according to page 6, had Wissam imagined an extravagant wedding where he would treat guests to lavish gifts, which allegedly were to include $10,000 Cartier watches. But whether their ceremony looked like that is unknown, but what is known is that in late 2012, they wed in a small ceremony. According to Jackson's family source, Al Mana's people couldn't believe it. But what was the reason for their hurried wedding? Well, the reason was simple. He really wanted to have a baby, and Janet was ready as she realized she had found the right guy. But Janet, who at the time was 46, soon realized that getting pregnant at the age wasn't all that easy, and the couple went through several heartbreaks as they thought they would finally have a baby, but at least twice they had realized they weren't expecting. According to several sources, Al Mana was having doubts that it would ever happen, while she was confident it would, and those early disappointments had begun to create cracks in their marriage. But then, on January 3rd, 2017, at the age of 50, Jackson had given birth to the couple's child and her and Wissam's first child, son Isa. And while that is her first child, in the past there had been rumours about her having a daughter with her first husband James DeBarge. Well, she was a teenager, but she had never commented on these allegations. If you want to know more about what happened, then be sure to check out our previous video titled Janet Jackson's Secret Daughter, the link to which is now displayed above. But for now, make sure to stay with us to find out whether Al Mana has been the reason why her career had been on pause. When it seemed that the relationship between Wissam and Janet was getting serious, many fans had begun wondering whether she would choose to convert to Islam to be with him, especially given that he himself is devoted to his religion. But as both sources close to Jackson and Al Mana's friends had revealed to page 6, she had never converted, but she was complying with Islamic traditions. That included her dressed with head coverings and wearing hijabs. And some of you might remember that famous photo of a pregnant Janet with her partner where she has been seen wearing a hijab. But through their public appearances together, it is worth pointing out that it wasn't always that she wore such outfits. According to the sources, she would also join her then husband in fasting during times of spiritual reflection. And while Al Mana's friends were quick to praise Janet for, in one way or another, complying with their traditions and beliefs, her family had noticed different things. For example, her not speaking out of turn when in the company of others and letting her partner take the lead in conversations. Back when the the two first got together, many fans had also noticed a change in the singer's wardrobe, something that was backed up by a source who had worked on her Unbreakable concert tour in 2015. The outfits she wore then, high necks, long sleeves, abs hidden, were much different from what fans were used to. Gone were the days of wardrobe malfunctions. According to the insider who worked on the tour, when the singer was set to play at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, her husband had allegedly dominated the rehearsals, demanding that she remain chaste. And according to an arena employee, he had said, "No skin, no dry humping, and none of that American stuff." That in turn had irritated her father and former manager Joe, who had argued that her fans wanted and deserved the real Janet, and he also blamed the lack of sold-out concerts on Al Mana for having made her tone down her sexy act. But the family had also noticed that as the pregnancy progressed, things had gotten much worse for the couple. A family source had said that while she usually ate well and exercised properly and kept herself looking good, Wissam was still freaked out, thinking that she'd be this, and here we quote, fat pig, and he was on her all the time, making sure she was eating right and taking care of herself, which she had been doing already. But it seems that things were much worse. Sources who spoke with Us Weekly had claimed that she had felt hidden from family and friends and that her life was sheltered and that she felt like a prisoner. In an interview, her brother Randy had suggested that she was even verbally abused by her then husband, who had called her nasty names. And things got as far as allegedly her brother having to orchestrate his sister's departure from the London home she shared with Wissam. As per page 6, he was joined by their older sister Rebbe and mother Catherine, and the trio had given Janet the strength to leave her controlling husband. Not long after the birth of their son, Janet and Al Mana had met in a London court to begin divorce proceedings, with Entertainment Tonight reporting that Janet was seeking full custody of Isa. They had also speculated that she could have potentially received $200 million in divorce settlements, which, given his estimated net worth of $1 billion, wouldn't have made that much of a difference, and it would have been a nice addition to Janet's $190 million one. At the time of these proceedings, E had reported that one of the key factors for their split was religious beliefs about how they should raise their son, as well as the fact that it didn't see eye to eye on many things. However, at the time the video was made, there had been no updates given about whether their divorce was finalized or what the nature of their relationship is now, but a source had revealed that both Janet and Wissam had been set on working on their co-parenting. And while in 2018 there was a situation where Jackson had called the police to check on the welfare of her son while he was with his father at the Nobu Hotel in Malibu, as she was worried that her ex-husband was using illicit substances around the baby, a spokesperson for the sheriff's office told people that no suspicion of illegal substances was found among Al Mana's belongings and no use was suspected. And while during the times the two were together, Janet had toned down on her outfits and performances, many fans were quick to blame that on Wissam's religion and that he was imposing those views and rules onto his wife. Now the pair had been separated for about 4 years. Janet had 2 tours and a Vegas residency in 2019, but since then there is still no news about any upcoming projects from Jackson. While a new tour and a CD were scheduled for 2020, the tour was put on hold due to the ongoing COVID pandemic, but no news has been given since about either the album or tour. Though sources close to the singer suggest that she is focusing on raising Isaiah, who rarely makes appearances on his mother's Instagram. However, some fans are wondering if the changes that Al Mana had made Janet make had somehow impacted the flow of her career, though there is nothing to suggest whether that was in fact the reason. So curious, what are your thoughts in this situation? Do you think that Wissam's changes to Janet's life had impacted her career? Or do you think she is focusing more on being a mother and it was the pandemic that had slowed everything down? Do you think that she was forced to comply with Islamic traditions, or was that something she did herself? And are you eagerly awaiting her brand new album? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.